to the very first video episode of the Union Jack Off with Daniel Muggleton. I'm Daniel Muggleton. You can see my head for the first goddamn time, and I'm joined by two guests.
Do you look like your voice?
I assume so.
Yeah.
Do you reckon? That's guest number one, by the way. Please welcome Canada's Bobby Mair.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go. I love that we're like kind of working the camera, but not really.
I was trying.
It's just like first time TV presenting. That's what we're doing here.
Where is the camera? I don't know where we're looking.
You got three cameras. We got three cameras.
Oh my god.
This is a sitcom. Three
This
cameras.
looks like somewhere they filmed child pornography.
Okay, that's pretty hurtful for the first time in
I'm
the
not
studio.
saying it's bad,
I'm not
I'm
going to
just-
say the name of it now.
I'm just saying like
thank you.
I'm just saying it's like it's just a low this is the kind of setup that they would do that on. I think.
Wait, you don't think they spring for a soundstage?
No, there's I think minimal production staff.
I would say you'd hope so.
Well, I wouldn't hope. I don't have hopes either way.
I just don't know how we got into that so quickly.
Because Bobby is the center of attention, and that's what he does when given the power in the conversation. My second guest, please welcome Harriet Kemsley.
Hello.
My wife.
Yes, you guys are married, and that's why you're here together.
Yeah.
You're in love.
So can you explain what we're supposed to talk about?
Yeah, that's. I was gonna do that like without it being exposition, but now you've kind of made it heavy-handed.
It was gonna be.
I was just gonna guide you.
Okay.
Because you're from Canada, you're not from here.
That's true.
That's why you got your shrill American accent.
Yes.
North American.
I'm fine with you calling it an American accent.
Great. And
They've owned it worldwide.
They have.
They've branded our accent a lot better than we have. They made a lot more movies and killed a lot more people. So.
But you guys just won the basketball, right?
Oh yeah, they did win. I wish if I liked I don't hate basketball. I just get no joy from it.
No joy. Okay. Well, but that's getting one back.
Yeah.
Getting one back for the Canadians. Being like, hey, but you guys invented basketball as well. Whatever.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
not
that
get into
guy
that.
James Naismith, right?
Exactly.
In
Fuck that.
1906.
I'm shocked that you.
I just made up the year. I don't know that.
Of course, you made up the year. Come on.
That I know.
Harriet is from the UK, and this podcast is about people coming to the UK and their experiences here. And I thought it'd be interesting getting like an immigrant such as myself in Bobby, who's found a nice English lady.
Yes.
Like tips on how to find a nice English lady.
Well, I mean, no, I don't think anyone looks at Bobby and is like, I should ask him what the secret is.
Well, maybe they do. How did you manage it?
How did I manage it?
Well,
Find
if
out.
I manage
Bobby,
it-
if Bobby can manage it, anyone can.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You're like, as in like just a really unathletic person who wins a medal. You're like, but seriously, how did you do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is your secret?
I might be able to use those
Drugs?
tips.
Yeah.
Drugs? Was it drugs? No.
I don't know. Early on, that was definitely what bonded us.
Yeah, that was in the early stages of the relationship. Which
Yeah.
which was the drug? Because you're a sober man now.
Yeah, I don't drink or do drugs
I've
anymore.
never known you to consume alcohol nor drugs nor actually cigarettes. No, I've seen you do that plenty of times.
Who knows? Maybe someday you'll get to see me unleash the beast.
Is that something you want again?
No, not really. We're gonna that part of my life is over. Thank you.
But yeah, so how did you guys meet then? Because you're both comedians, obviously. I assume comedy related.
Yeah, it was at a comedian's party, but Bobby didn't remember we had met before.
We met twice. She didn't make a very memorable impression.
Lovely, good.
I'm sure she tried, but it just didn't stick in my memory.
You tried to pick me up before, like you came up and you're like, oh, great set, and like said that, and then
Maybe I
apparently
just thought you had a
do that
great
to
set.
all women.
I don't do that to all women. That's especially in the current climate. It is not a nice thing to say. I say great set to every female comedian because I'm trying to have sex with them. I've not tried to have sex with a female comedian in a long time. Thank you very much.
I assume since you've met.
Yeah, well, let's not go into
I
it.
am a female comedian, so
Yeah.
you should try and have sex with me.
Okay.
You got yourself into a real trap.
It's true. I like that you're surrounded, actually. This gives me the most power I've ever had over you.
You got you trapped.
Yeah, I feel like Harriet's got that side, I got this side, and you're in trouble.
Don't put a dog in a corner or a dog will bite.
Did you have pets growing up?
Not for long.
That is the creepiest possible answer. I didn't have pets for long. They all met untimely
What
demises.
happened? Why not for long?
Well, one time I had a dog, and
I do know.
my dog
I do know.
Maggie.
Yeah.
I loved Maggie so
Oh, is
much.
this
She's
sad?
a cocker
Yeah.
spaniel.
Oh.
No, it's not that sad.
That's sad.
And then my mom said they're gonna send Maggie to a farm, and I cried because I didn't want Maggie to go to a farm. Why do I have to send Maggie to a farm? And then they said, "Fine, we're not sending her to a farm. We're killing her."
Was she sick?
Seemed fine to me.
But they actually told you they were killing the dog.
My mom got sick of me crying about the farm.
She thought this was going to stop the farm crying.
I don't know if her motherly instincts were as in sync as many women.
Did it stop you from crying about the farm?
Well, yeah, then the tears changed course. Definitely, still continued.
Wait, was this your like birth mother or like adopted mother?
Adopted. So I was adopted at birth. So.
Oh, pardon?
No, I was adopted like at birth. So
Right.
My biological mother wasn't really like a part of my life.
Okay, right. And this is the like adopted parents being like, but they had you from the beginning.
They had me from the beginning.
So like you're basically like it wasn't like one of those pass around jobs. You seem like you were in like foster like multiple.
I know everyone assumes I was in multiple foster homes
like absolutely
based on my energy. No, only one. But they, parenting wasn't like their strong suit either.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good though, right? Like a bit of consistency.
Sure. Yeah.
You were at the hospital for a long time before anyone
3 months
picked you.
alone. 10 families turned me down. Thought I was gonna die.
It's 3 months premature.
What?
Yeah.
This
10
is
families
so-
looked at me and said, no.
10 families.
10.
You got like the left swipe.
That's what that's
10
what
times.
my dad told me. Another thing, maybe I didn't need to know that, Maybe I didn't need to know about the 10 families. I don't even think that 10 is actually...
We should track them down. I wonder where they are now and say, do you think your life would be better if you'd had Bobby in it? That's a show,
that is
maybe.
legitimately a great idea for a TV show to track down all the people that didn't adopt me.
But Bobby Mair, the boy who lived.
Yeah.
It's just like, do you regret not having him? And everyone's like, no, honestly, we just got a dog.
that's the
Yeah, that
end
would
of
have been
every
great. Yeah, we
episode,
decided kids weren't for us. We were
Yeah.
42. We thought, well, maybe we never had kids for a reason.
Why did they tell you this stuff though?
My dad told me in a kind of a heartfelt moment, which was quite sweet.
Okay.
He didn't mean it that
It
way.
wasn't like the dog dying. It wasn't out
No,
of
no.
frustration.
It was-
10 families turned you down. Clean your room.
It's just
like,
it's just a very funny thing to tell anyone. But he meant it warmly.
okay. Do you still have contact with them, right?
Yeah,
Like your
yeah. My
family?
family's my family. Yeah.
Right. Okay. It was like Harry, like you had a I'm going to say normal upbringing. I'm going to say normal upbringing because it is. It's nuclear family. Why not? Did you have that?
Yeah, it's probably the opposite to Bobby. Yeah, I'd say.
Like legit opposite? Like your dogs are still very much alive?
Yeah, they just got a new dog actually. I'm allergic to it.
Oh,
It
whatever.
bit
The
me.
posh British people have their own weirdness. Let's not pretend it's all normal. It's just
What's weird about
appears
posh,
normal.
posh British people? Are you posh?
I don't know.
Yeah,
People
Harriet.
do say that.
I-
My voice
yeah.
can sound a bit posh.
I
I
mean,
think.
but most things to Bobby probably seem a bit posh.
Yeah,
you
to
know?
Bobby, it's like I'm the queen or something. He comes around and it's like, oh my god.
I don't think you're the queen.
Bobby thinks I'm the queen.
I don't think you're the
So,
queen. I just
that's what
listened to
Bobby
you
thinks.
piss through a wall. You're not the queen.
I knew you could hear me through the
I
wall.
can hear
I
you
felt so
can-
self-conscious.
The thing is about that.
Our piss is like harmonized, but I didn't want. I wanted to mention it, but then I didn't want to because I got embarrassed.
The thing about that toilet, you can hear everything. I would never use that
I mean,
toilet.
yeah, the walls are like
What if
paper
you?
thin.
Yeah, I
but-
had to pee, but then it was.
I know.
It was
but, like,
really
is
stressful.
Is the sound thing like bother you, like in a bathroom?
It
Is
doesn't. I don't feel shamed, but I also don't want to hear 8 strangers shit at the same time.
I feel shame.
that would be amazing rhythm if they all just fucking hit it at the same time.
Well, I mean-
8 at once.
I don't know about amazing, but at least their shame would be leveled out between the 8 of them.
Yeah. So wait. So the posh family though. So where in Kent? I looked this up. Yeah, I got notes. I did the research. Kent. Which one's that bit of London? It's like southeast or southwest?
Yeah, southeast. So it's like between here and.
Is that where Sandwich
the
is? The town
ocean.
of Sandwich? Is that in Kent?
I don't even.
It's between
know,
here and
actually.
France.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like Dover and all that shit
yeah,
is in Kent.
that's
If you
Kent.
drew, like, a
yeah, I don't
direct-
know about Sandwich.
A direct line from here to Calais, it would be on the way.
Okay. As the crow flies.
What does that
I
mean?
don't know what that means.
You serious?
Yeah. I've heard it before, but I've
Oh,
never had the confidence to say it because I don't know what it means. What
Wait,
does
have
it
you
mean?
heard it before?
No.
Like that's okay. As the crow flies, just like in the straightest possible direction towards the place, like
Is that what crows do?
ignoring any like impediment. I don't think it's what crows do. I think it's just like birds. Like, they don't
Then
go
why
around
isn't
the
it as the
mountain.
birds do?
They don't go around the mountain or like go to a bridge.
I think
they just
crows.
go
I think
directly.
crows do that because, or else the expression wouldn't be crows.
What if there's a
They-
tree?
there's like thousands
They'll
of
have to go
species of
round the
bird.
tree. They're not going to go straight through the tree or straight through.
Well, they
But
go
they're
above
They
the
have to go-
tree.
Oh.
They're birds, Harriet. They just go above. They don't.
They walk in, then they
Birds
have to
don't
walk
fly
round
5
it.
feet off the ground.
Just this crow in the middle of the forest. Like Jesus Christ, the trees around here.
Being a bird is not as easy as it seems. Okay.
You want those low flying crows. That's why you can track them. You can see which way they fly.
Yes.
They're like 10 meters off the ground. Fuck, there it goes. Still straight line. Great stuff. But no, as the crow flies. Okay, so that's kind of a fancy bit. In my understanding of the UK is like the fancy bits are kind of like to the southeast and southwest of London, and then there's London, and then everything else is just kind of not
I'd say it's a
fancy.
real mix, like most places in England. Like,
Oh yeah, like Kent is not known for being nice. There's
Right.
nice parts of
Yeah.
Kent, but there is also a lot of scum.
yeah,
Just in Kent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're from Kent, you're my friend, but you know who I mean. You know,
yeah,
like
they know what you mean.
It's just a mix. It's like I think all of the UK is like a micro. It's like London's a good microcosm of the UK because it's like, oh, it's somewhere really nice, and then like 200 meters away, you're in the worst neighborhood.
Yeah, like the housing estate thing, how they like put them everywhere. But that's a good thing. I think that's like a positive. Because in Sydney, we kind of put them all to one side. Like we keep them all together.
I agree that's a good thing, but it is always nice to know when I'm going to get stabbed, you know? Like to be able to draw lines like, oh, it's stab time, okay.
Well,
On the way here, a guy looked at me and he reached into his back and pulled out what I thought was a gun and then pointed at me, and it was a drill. But he was doing it to make me think he was pulling a gun on me.
Oh my God. How have you
Yeah.
only just told that story now? We've been together for half an hour.
Well, if I told every time someone pretended to pull a gun on me, we wouldn't get to about...
Did he make the noise? Like,
No, anyway, ha!
did he run the drill? Did he
Yeah.
like, vroom?
And I thought it was a nail gun, so I thought he was going to shoot nails at me.
Did you hide?
No, I went like this, and then his girlfriend was like, "You're scaring him," and he's like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, "Yeah, don't do that to anyone else. It might not go well." Like I just kind of laughed. But I mean, if somebody had a weapon, he wouldn't come out of that well.
But I mean, like in the UK, like what are the chances of someone having a fucking gun? You know?
I mean, I don't know. It's like a lottery, I guess. Oh, we won the gun lottery. Now I'm dead.
Yeah, but you sure he was
You'd
pointing
lose
it
that
at you?
lottery.
Yes,
That would
yes.
be
He
a
looked at me
loss.
in the eyes from 10 feet away and pointed it directly at me and started running. But like slowly pulled it out like he was pulling a gun out of his out of the back of his pants.
Were you staring at him though?
I was
Because
not
think
staring.
Sometimes you have a lingering
Stop
look.
victim blaming here. Don't victim blame me. Somebody pretended to pull a gun on me and you're making it my fault.
That's true, Harry. You are.
Sorry about that, Bobby.
But like, does he stare? Like, because
He
I mean,
has
but I think
lingering
I
stares.
love to
Sometimes
stare.
he gets in his own world and he doesn't realize he's staring at someone.
But I
Sometimes I'm staring at someone and pretending
Okay.
I'm in my own world.
I think
Who knows what's what?
very deceptive.
And also, my wife is the woman who will never know when is what thing. You'll
Right.
never know when I'm staring. I'll say, "Oh, sorry, it's in my own world." I'm not going to start telling you, "Oh, I was staring at that woman."
You've made this so much weirder than
I was just making it honest.
So you're just telling me you stare at women?
I don't stare at
and you
women.
want me
but
to know that you stare at women?
if I were to stare at women, I wouldn't be telling you about it. The same way you probably stare at men all the time.
Why would I stare at men?
I don't know.
Why would you stare at men? Men are gross.
Yeah,
Have you seen
I'm
this?
not a big starer. I don't like...
You never see a man and are like, "Oh yeah."
No, I need to get to know them.
How are you gonna do that if you're just on the tube?
What?
How are you gonna do that like on the tube?
I don't do that on the tube.
Oh.
Is that where you stare at women? Is this what this comes back to?
Yeah.
You're staring at women
You're
on the
staring
tube?
at women on the tube?
But I think that's like acceptable on the tube. Not like staring at women, but just staring
no,
at anybody.
don't stare at
I'm
women.
not
No,
staring at
stare at
anyone on the
anybody.
tube. I'm not staring at anyone on the tube.
Everybody, all you guys do on the tube is just stare at each other. It's really weird.
You can't do
The
anything
eye
except
contact's
look ahead.
Too long. The eye contact is too long on the tube in this country.
I don't make any eye contact with anybody.
Yeah, that's because of your Asperger's. I keep trying to convince Sarah she has Asperger's.
How's that going so far?
I mean, I think she does.
Sometimes he just reads out the list of symptoms.
Well, I mean,
In fairness, that is pretty funny.
she
I'm
can't.
for that.
She can't make. Look, listen, it's fine if you do it. Just be good. I think it'd be helpful for you to know.
But like, okay, we've gone so far away from.
You're
Kent here.
you did this. It's you.
I did not.
All right, get back on track then.
No, I will. I knew this was. I've hung out with you socially, and I know that this isn't you guys performing. This is just how you are.
I haven't.
So I was prepared for this.
You considered it social. I considered it work, but we can then debate that later.
That's very rude. We had
I know it's a joke. That's what
we
it was
had
a mean joke.
a
Don't be
nice time
rude.
together. We played tennis together.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
but-
joking. I'm just joking. I love you. I love you. You're my friend.
Why can't you just be nice though? Why do you have to be antagonistic? That's what he's saying. all the
Because it's
time.
that's how I relate to people.
being antagonistic. So is
Shut the fuck up. Yes,
All right,
yeah, that's
there
it.
we go. That was an example
Yeah,
then.
that was
I
one
figured that
example
out
of
now.
my
This is
antagonism,
good. You're a
yeah.
natural actor, you know that?
Thank you.
Yeah. But wait, so Bobby didn't remember you on the first meeting, but did you remember Bobby? Bobby's quite memorable.
Yeah, Bobby was wearing slip-on shoes, a T-shirt that didn't
Yellow
cover
Crocs.
his
I'd had them for
tummy-
10 years.
Didn't cover his tummy button, and
His
bright
tu-
pink
wait,
shorts.
Wait, what's a tummy button?
I don't know. Wait, like, what do you call it? This bit?
The belly
button. Oh, do you not call it tummy button? A tummy. Do you say tummy?
Yeah, tummy. Yeah, sure, but I never heard tummy button.
That
was the most adorable shit I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know. The belly button.
Belly button.
No, but you just called it a tummy button.
Yeah, but you'd say the same thing like stomach, and then you say button. They do. They do. Don't stop.
Excuse me. Could I see your stomach button?
Do you not say stomach button?
No.
What?
No.
It's
I
only
think it's
belly
an English
button.
thing. It's an English thing.
No, it's not. No one else
Yeah,
says tummy
it's an
button.
English
It's
thing.
only
sure?
you.
Yeah.
There are going to be people listening
Yeah.
to this who are English being like, no, it's not.
This
and
reminds
they
me
will
of when
write in.
This reminds me of when I convinced you that it's illegal in Canada to have sex with a beaver.
Is it not illegal?
No, it's legal. I convinced her for a full
Yeah.
week that it was legal.
I thought you said convinced it's illegal. And I'm like, I'd probably buy that.
No, legal. Harriet Kemsley believed that it was
No, because
illegal.
they have old laws where there's things like you're allowed to piss
have
in a
old-
shoe if you're in Whitechapel or something. There's all these weird old laws. And so I believed it and I thought it was true.
Well, in England, they have these weird old laws.
Yeah.
Canada's quite new, like Australia. Like, we have new
Well,
laws.
I didn't know that.
We have
so
brand new laws.
You thought that Canada was as old of a country as
I
the
don't know
United
how old
Kingdom.
Canada is.
How
Let's-
old do you?
I actually don't know how
I
old
don't
How
know.
Canada
old?
is.
Guess how old Canada is.
I don't know.
Like 600 years old.
Yeah, I don't know.
You think?
I don't know.
Wait, when do you think?
How would I know?
When do you
How
think
would
it
I know that?
may have became a
The
country.
thing is, everywhere's always been a country. It's just what you call it. Do you know what I mean? Like
No.
everywhere is a place. The whole world has existed always
How
with
long-
people in it.
What year do you think Canada became?
The same time Earth began. Canada began. I don't know.
Same time Earth began?
Yeah, then there was the region of Canada.
The region of Canada. Is this why English people feel so comfortable going into other countries? It's just like, it's always been Australia. It's
Yeah.
just that we turned up at
Yeah.
one point. It was just waiting for British rule. It was
Yes.
waiting for a British name this whole time.
Just a firm hand.
How old is Canada? Do you know?
I don't know.
Like-
Oh, you don't even know.
No, 18 something.
Like,
18, is that all?
1800s, yeah.
was that when
What was it before then?
A British colony. How do you not know that? What did you think it was?
We don't cover that stuff in
A
schools.
Spanish
We don't
colony?
cover that in stuff in school.
Wait, no, sorry. You don't cover British history in British school?
No, well, that's not the history
But
that's
we
interesting
cover it.
to us.
You
Because when
cover
I
it,
was in
right?
America, I didn't know about the fight between America and England because no
mean
one
the-
taught me that at school. And so I
Wait.
never knew we had a war until I went there, and then people were talking about, and everyone talks about it all the time. But I think it's because we lost; they didn't teach that.
But I just
But in
Oh.
America, they're like, "Oh,
I think that's
everyone
probably
needs
the
to know."
only time anyone's ever referred to the American Revolution as the fight between America and England.
That's what it was, isn't it?
I mean, it's not. Yeah, you're right. No one's ever called it that, but it is an accurate title.
But Harriet just renamed the American Revolution.
The War of Independence. That's another
That's
name
fair,
for it.
yeah.
The fight between America. I mean, I quite like that because it implies that
It's like good and evil. It's like a big epic
I
fight.
don't know if it was good and
I mean, I think the War
I
of
don't know.
Independence means it was good. But like, why? When were you in America? Like, were you like traveling, or like, did you?
I lived there for a year, so when I was 19. But yeah, there was all sorts of things I learned that
What
I
were you
didn't
doing
know.
in America?
I was at drama school there.
Acting.
Harriet
Yeah,
wanted to be a
doing
serious
acting.
actor.
Yeah, but
A
then
serious
it
actor.
became clear that I would just pretend that I knew things, and I'd repeat what other people said, but I actually didn't know anything about it.
What is it? And that's
Oh,
I
yeah,
tried
what's
to take
it?
it really seriously and do it because I knew that I wanted to do something like it, but then I would try and it got very stressful because I'd go see a play and then people would say, what did you think about the play? And then you'd have to tell them, but I didn't really know. And so I'd say something and then someone would say, I don't really agree. And then I'd say, oh, I agree. And then it would go on. It's a long, exhausting time. And then I found comedy and it's much easier.
Yeah, people don't really ask you. They're just like, "How did I go?" And you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Fine."
Yeah, me. Not you,
Yeah.
you.
What did you think of the show? I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Funny, not funny. Very definitive.
Done. Okay, so a year in America. How was that a culture shock, like coming from UK to America, or similar?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I would say, just from knowing you, it's more of a culture shock leaving your parents' house and going to New York City alone.
Yeah, I
Oh, it
left
was in New York.
Kent,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I
From
lived
Kent
in
to
the middle
New
of New York, yeah. So it was quite intense and it was quite a lot of growing up quite quickly. But it was really fun. But I was used to drinking in Kent so easily. But
Yeah.
in America, it was much harder. So
it was illegal.
Kind of,
Yeah,
so
under
I got
21.
in trouble. Yeah.
And wait, is Canada under 21 or
No, 19 in Canada, but 18
19?
in Quebec.
19?
19 in most of Canada, 18 in Quebec.
That's so weird that it's 19.
I don't know.
Just an extra year. Why not?
Well,
Yeah.
Just to be a little bit more American.
you can go to war, you can fuck on camera, but you can't drink at 18.
You really put too much emphasis on the fuck there.
Yeah.
You can fuck
Well,
on
you can.
camera.
You can,
You
Muggy.
can't fuck on camera, but you can fuck on camera.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I know what to do.
A natural emphasis?
Yeah.
Terrifying. So New York. Why'd you go from... It just
I
seems
think it was
like...
good. It felt like a good way of kind of growing up or something, of like going away and going into the world.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know how well I fit in, but it was really fun.
But 1 year and then you just...
Yeah, well then after that I was like, I don't know if I can live here forever, and like I'd worked for a year to save up, and then it was like I couldn't properly have a job there legally, like while I was studying, so
Right.
I just decided to come back.
Fair enough.
But it was a really fun year. Yeah.
Would you go back to like America again? Like, is that somewhere you could live, or are you like...
We'd love to live there. Yeah.
I really
Both of
like
you?
it. Yeah.
Oh.
But
Oh yeah, if we might just maybe we'll get our U.S. visas and move.
wow.
Who knows?
Who knows? But
That'd
you,
be exciting.
You're right. Just because in my head, like knowing you guys, like I figured you're here. Like, you just bought a place and stuff. Like I figured you were kind of like London is the one.
Yeah, but I
good.
mean, I don't know. Life's long. You need to do things. Every day you have to do something different so that the thought of I'm gonna die soon like leaves.
Yeah, you got to keep running from it.
And if
So
going
America it is.
and if going and sitting on a beach in LA for 6 months pretending I'm trying to find work can stave off the thought of death a little longer, I'll do it.
You guys have the most depressing motivations. Just like really dark mantras.
That's why we're together though.
I mean, yeah, it's like adorable that you found each other. Like,
That's what somebody said when I came off stage. They were like, oh, me and Bobby did a gig, and I went on after Bobby, and Bobby went on and talked about having a wife, and then this friend said, well, I didn't know at the time, but she said that she'd seen Bobby go on and say he had a wife, and she thought, who on earth can be married to this guy? And then I went on, and she was like, they found each other. It's so sweet.
Wait, what do you mean, who on earth? Who on earth? I bet she's boring and no one loves her.
Okay, well, that's
Who on
that was
earth?
too far.
That's quite insulting.
I mean,
You can see why, though.
No,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm fucking great.
yeah, but
You
like,
are
I
great,
earn,
Bobby.
I provide, I fuck, I talk, I read, I sleep. What else do you need from a man?
They're very basic.
you guys have a cat. You guys care for the cat.
I pet. I forgot pet.
Yeah, exactly.
Feed. You feed.
I feed. That's what I call fucking. I feed the dick
You're
into
shit
wherever
boy.
it needs
You
to
get
go.
rid of all the shit.
I do. I clean up the cat shit. I'm shit man.
Is that your job?
Yes, shit man.
That's the separation of roles.
Yeah.
Cook.
I'm shit man.
Actually,
She's-
I saw you guys attempt to cook when I was over for Christmas. That was
Very stressful. Bobby cooks everything at very high speed, and so things catch a light, and then
Well, not
alarms
speed,
are going
high
off, and there's
temperature. You
smoke.
can't
And I
cook
say,
at a
just do it
speed.
slowly. Just do it very slowly and quietly, and like low pressure. So everything is burnt and not cooked.
well. All right. This bugs me a little bit about Bobby.
Oh.
It's okay. Just don't get the backup. It's gonna be fine. It's just
That's just my hunch.
fucking honestly, the meanest thing you've ever said to me is that you're like, oh, you're next door. That makes sense. We have the same posture. I've never forgiven you. I've never.
You said that to
forgotten it.
me because you were upset
Yeah, I
about
saw. I
it.
was like, Bobby was very mean to me the other day.
Listen,
We did not. Just look at the way
Your
we're sitting
posture
in
has
these
got better, but
chairs.
you need to work on it, or you're going to have a hunch as you age.
Muggleton, you have a skinny,
Your
weak
head.
back, the same as I do. I have to put my head here, so I talk to the fucking microphone. Don't touch my head.
Bobby.
I'm joking.
No, the thing, this actually highlights my point perfectly. Canadians are supposed to be very like kind, quiet people. I don't know what happened to you.
I don't know. I hate cultural stereotypes.
Why? They're fun.
They don't fit.
They don't always fit.
Australians
but
are supposed to be friendly and laid back. You're like, no, you're not. You're like Jerry Seinfeld. You're like
Jewish? What?
No, where'd you get Jewish out of? No,
Because he said Seinfeld.
no, but you're not a laid back. You're like you make lists every day of what you're doing.
That
don't
is
you?
not true at all.
Yes, it is.
I've got my.
You have a list right in front of us.
These are the
this list. proves that he's a liar. He just said it's not true.
I don't make
I don't make lists. Is that the only page in here?
List.
Another
That's a
list.
set list.
Don't show because it could be
Another
embarrassing
list.
It's not embarrassing.
You make
I
so
hate
many
my
lists.
diary to be shown. If anybody, you
I
could
don't
never, I
have
would
a
die.
diary. I'm a laid-back, cool guy. I don't chronicle my feelings.
That's
alright?
not true.
I don't journal.
Sam Campbell told me he stayed at your house and you had all your goals written on your wall. That is not at all true. That is. And they were
I
like,
have things on my wall. I have quotes. I have things like
But-
every
but
failure
that is not a
makes you stronger and
that
things
is-
like that.
Yeah, that's a quote. That is not a laid back thing to do, to have your goals on your wall.
I tried to do one thing to like grow as a human being this year,
And
then
you're
that,
gonna be mocked for it.
that rat Sam Campbell comes in my house, stays over, and stitches me up on a podcast.
Well, you just said
When
you're a
I'm
really
just
laid back guy who doesn't give a shit about things.
I-
Meanwhile, you're like, I need to take over comedy. Put on wall.
That isn't on the wall. And one thing, Mary drew a little engagement ring on the goal thing, and now we're engaged. So
tick.
maybe goals are important.
I'm not saying
Bobby.
goals aren't important.
Bobby,
I'm just
you
saying
do
you don't
goals
fit
as
in the
well.
culture. I do goals as well, but I'm a type A personality. You're you're pretending to be this laid back Australian. You're not.
Would you say you're a type A personality?
I am type A and type.
But like type A.
Maybe
in
that's my blood
comparison to
type.
who?
I'm a type.
I'm a type of personality.
Yes.
Like multiple personalities.
No,
Disorder.
I've been tested. Didn't quite get on the spectrum. Thank you.
Wait, you don't have any mental illnesses?
No,
Oh yeah,
No, I
but
don't
not
have.
specifically schizophrenia.
No, I don't. First of all, schizophrenia and multiple personality disorders, very different diseases. Secondly, I don't have multiple personality disorder.
Okay.
There's a DID test.
But where did you come from in Canada? Why are you so loud?
Why am I
It's
so
mad.
loud?
You
Why
walk
aren't you
down the streets
apologetic?
in his little town, and I can't imagine Bobby. It's mad. Like to imagine a little Bobby growing up there is impossible.
I don't know what made me the way I am. I don't know. I don't know why I am the way I am. No one I know is like me. I met my biological family. I don't know.
No one's like you. Like, what about your friends at school? Like, were you? Were you?
Well, they're not loud with my cadence. Like, I don't know.
No, but just kind of like loud in your face. You know, you're just the opposite of like every Canadian I've ever met.
I don't
it's
know.
It's really weird. Like, I would assume you're American. Like,
No.
you've got that kind of East Coast kind of anger, which I like. I like that in a human.
Yeah.
But you know,
yeah, like you're
it's
from
odd.
Boston or something. Like,
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
You'd, think. Yeah.
You'd be such a good Bostonian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's guys in Boston who are like, "Hi, I'm from Boston."
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we've
and,
all
they're-
seen
and
it.
then you meet them and you're like, "You're not from Boston." You sound like you're from somewhere else because of your friendliness.
Yeah, but look, you don't. This podcast is about people coming from the UK from other countries, so a big part of it is sweeping generalizations.
All right, so what do you want to know?
So I'm just gonna be like, did you find it weird being in Canada as a loud man, just as a very unapologetic? Did you fit in there? Did you have
No,
a
that's
good
why I'm a
time?
comedian. Did any of us fit in anywhere? No, of course. That's why we're comedians, is because we didn't fit in.
I mean, I can see Harriet. I think fits in pretty
No,
well.
she doesn't. She fits in from far away, but from close up, she's crumbling. And
It's
Harriet,
true. I'm very good at putting on a facade.
Harriet's
yeah.
always one person frowning at her away from a breakdown. Like if a man on a tube said, "Get away from me," she's crying for 3 days. Like, let's not, just because she keeps it together better doesn't mean.
Yeah.
I've
she's any less
perfected
crazy.
the mask. Bobby could work on it.
Yeah.
a
I don't think
bit.
Bobby's ever even
She
tried
needs
to
less
work
of
on
a
that.
mask. I need more of a mask.
Yeah, that's true.
You need less of a mask. You think you
Yeah.
prefer to be a bit more like this, a bit more
Yeah.
Rand and Raven.
Well, that's probably
We all
why
could do with
we
a bit
found
more
each
Bobby
other.
in us, couldn't we?
Absolutely not. If I had a child who was like you, I would be confused as what to do.
Yeah, you'd put up for adoption. The cycle continues.
Oh man, I don't know 10 families. You know, I can't make it to the
11.
11.
You need 11. Yeah.
I'll just get on a bus. No, 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 no.
Yeah, I think your personality is like bad bus passenger. I think that's a good way to describe
But you're
it.
so sweet as well. Like that's the thing.
I am very.
You put on this front of being angry and loud, but actually you're the sweetest.
You are a very nice man. I was hanging out with someone recently who spent time with you. Just like, Bobby's just so kind.
I want to know
I
who.
will never name names.
Tell me who
I
called
will
me
never
kind.
name names.
What do you mean? I said I
Be
read it.
kind. Live up to the kindness. Don't now be unkind.
I'm not being unkind. I just want to know who called me kind. Who was it?
It was Pierre Novelli.
Pierre Novelli. He's also kind.
What, is that why you want to know his name so you compliment him right back?
Yeah, sure. We're both kind people.
Cheapen his
What a
compliment.
kind
I'm
by
not
thing
saying
to
the
do,
same
cheapening it. I'm
Bobby.
saying we're both kind. But yeah, I am kind.
Wait. So why did you come here? Was it for comedy?
Of course, it was for
For
comedy.
a wife.
No, it
For
was
a
not
wife.
for
Yeah,
a
he
wife.
wanted to find
I
a
was doing
wife.
fine
A
before you.
British wife.
Fine.
I was fine
nice
before you.
British wife.
No, I came here specifically for comedy. So I'd done comedy in Canada for 6 years. I felt like the opportunities in Canada.
How did Canadian audiences like you as this brash young boy? Because you would have been young, right? You would have been.
I was 19 when I started comedy.
Wow, that's very young. What about Harry? Were you young when you started as well?
No.
23.
23. Thank you. That's a good normal age. That's when I started.
Old gal.
It's like having sex. You know, the normal age is whenever you did it. Like
You think,
that's-
you think 23 is the normal age to start fucking?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I don't scream and I'm not confident enough
Yeah.
yet. But one day I'll get there.
Someday.
Yeah. So you started real young, and then you came here at 25.
20, I believe 25 or I just turned 26.
Okay. And was it always just forever, or did the UK kind of have to win you?
I didn't have like a super long-term plan.
Okay.
But I just felt like the opportunities in Canada were quite limited, and I didn't have any television credits, so I couldn't move to America.
Uh-huh.
That
would have been
visa wasn't an option.
That would have been number one. You would have gone straight to the States.
I don't know. It wasn't
Had
an
you-
option, so I didn't think about that.
Right. Had you been here before? Had you come to the
No,
UK?
I just moved and having never
He
visited.
just had one hold all. Is that what you say?
What?
No, one bag. One bag.
What do you think it's called?
Hold all. Like a hold all. That's literally what it is. It's a hold all. That's why it's called that. It holds all the
What's
stuff.
a hold all?
Like
Harry-
a bag. Don't make me. I think you're both trying to make me feel mad because I'm saying actual words here and you're looking horrified.
You think a hold
bag,
all is a
hold
word?
all. That's what it's called.
What,
a type
ho-
of bag.
Like it holds all. Don't look at the producer. He
Well,
can't
I
save
think
you.
he knows what it is. Yeah. So
Wait,
a
he's an
hold
English
all.
guy. Is a hold all a thing?
Yeah,
Dorian,
it's
Dorian,
English.
weigh in. Is it a hold all?
Yeah, I'd say it's like a bit of classic luggage.
Bit of classic
But
luggage.
it's called a hold all. That's
Yeah,
like the
he's
name.
like a brown leather holdall.
Really?
He walks into the station with a brown leather holdall, to put it in a sentence.
Right.
That was really nice. That was very poetic, actually. Yeah, that was
And it's
nice.
such a calm voice. It really,
yeah,
really
I
made
liked
me
it.
miss
It was
Bobby.
the start of a story. Yeah. Yeah. So
Hold
he
on,
just
okay.
had one. Basically, he had one bag. He
I mean,
had a
but that-
bag.
I moved here with a hockey bag, a blue hockey bag full of my shit.
Are you a Canadian guy?
Yeah.
That's cool. The hockey bag. Me just there with a fucking swag on a stick.
Yeah, exactly.
Bouncing over on a kangaroo.
hockey bag
Where do you
on my
reckon it's
shoulder.
from? Okay, hockey bag. Did you play hockey?
No, never.
But you were so aggressive. Surely it would have been helpful.
Hockey's. I didn't grow up like super poor, but hockey's quite expensive. So I
Oh.
didn't. And I never wanted to. All the kids that played hockey were assholes.
Yeah, but I thought you could have got some rage out. You know, like the ending of Mean Girls where
He
she plays
doesn't
lacrosse.
like loud noises.
I didn't have like I don't know.
He
when
doesn't
I,
like loud noises.
No, I hate loud noises. But when I was, except my own, myself. But when I was, no, it's not like at 8, I was like, I need to get rage out. I should play hockey. I wasn't like
Yeah.
that emotionally into.
I thought maybe your parents were just kind of like, how can we tire this lad out?
I don't know. They didn't. I don't think they thought that out.
Okay, sure. So, but you never played hockey. But hockey's a rich sport. I thought hockey would be like a poor sport.
No,
'Cause
weirdly-
you see hockey players, they don't look like they're readers.
They
you
need
know?
all the kit, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
there's
need
a
all
lot
the
of
kit. It's expensive kit. You have to drive. Then your whole. If I had a kid, I would say don't play hockey because every weekend you have to drive a kid to a fucking hockey game. It seems, and hang out with all the other hockey parents and watch kids play hockey and pretend to give a shit about it.
As if you wouldn't be a great sideline parent. That's
I'd
where-
be a great sideline parent for the 2 games I was allowed in the arena. But then eventually they'd say, you know what, Bobby? You're too good of a fan. You have to wait in the car.
And by they you mean Harriet, just being like,
You're banned from the arena for screaming at a kid and them crying. So I can't control a kid's tear ducts. It's not my fault if the kid gets overwhelmed and starts tearing up. Play better.
Did you play any sports, Harriet? Sorry,
No.
I find you guys like such an interesting pairing because you just seem very different. But you get on
Well, you
so
and
well.
Mary also seem very different. She's really sweet and kind.
And say
You're
it
Jerry Seinfeld.
in an inside.
You're
voice.
Jerry Seinfeld.
I'm not having this Jerry Seinfeld thing. Yeah, but I'm curious. Like, did you play anything growing up?
No.
Athlete?
No, not athlete. I did.
Because you guys played tennis together, which I thought maybe this is like you were
No,
capturing
we're
your
very
sporting youths.
unsporty. I did the hurdles, but I would always knock them down. But I thought, when you find a thing and you think, I think this is my thing, but then I just always knock them down and be last.
With her, I was like that with javelin. I was like, I'm gonna be the javelin
Yeah.
guy. That's a pretty cool guy. And then I was just really shit at javelin.
Yeah, I thought I was the hurdles.
I
girl.
played soccer for like probably 3, 4, or 5 years when I was young. I was never, or as you'd call it, football. I was never that good. I played hardball. I played softball.
What's
Again,
hardball?
very bad. Hardball is what you'd call baseball overhand.
Okay.
baseball, and then softball is like windmill.
Underhand.
Or not softball, sorry.
T-ball?
No, it's not.
Rounders.
Not T-ball. No, but I played, it's like windmill pitching.
Cricket.
So
No, it's reverse. He's going this way.
Reverse
Cricket's that
cricket.
way. Reverse cricket.
yeah, I played reverse cricket. Anyways, I played the one where they do
Netball.
windmill pitching. The softball is the one where they throw it way up in the air, I think, and then down.
No. The
Oh,
windmill softball.
that's slow pitch. Sorry, I did play softball. I played hardball and softball, but I never played slow pitch where it's for old people. Where
I
they
don't
throw
think
way up
anyone
in the air
cares
and
at this
lands
point,
on them.
Bobby.
He's
played
asking
some ball
me.
games.
I
Who
played
cares?
games with balls.
You threw some balls.
I never
Great.
won. I never scored a
Yeah.
goal. I never got a home run.
Great.
Never.
I never.
Did you ever win a race, Harriet?
No,
Oh.
I'm not very coordinated.
Actually, yeah, Bobby has said that. This thing.
Well, she has dyspraxia.
Switch. That thing. I remember that thing.
Yeah,
The
the
test.
clap test. Yeah.
Yeah, you failed.
But in
Yeah.
fairness, I found that test much harder than I would like to have found
Yeah,
it. I'm
it's
a pretty
hard.
coordinated dude.
Yeah.
You know? He just practices the test. I know what he does. Like, this is just you're
Why
not
are
even
you
calling it. You're
showing
calling
up?
it for yourself. It's Bobby, this is a really bad podcast. There's some damage with the sound equipment.
They just
there.
can't see my hands, so it just seems like.
Well, there's going to be like audio of this as well. So the audio people are just going to be like, what the fuck is Bobby
I was doing, if you're listening, I'm doing a clap test that proves whether or not you have dyspraxia.
And he made Harriet do it. He tricked her.
Yeah, that's what I did. No, I didn't do it. Actually, that was her sister. I wasn't
That was
involved.
my sister, and then I tried to do it, and then I knocked over 2 glasses.
You're dyspraxic.
That's like just like in the test. Did she knock over 2 glasses? Then
Yeah.
she's dyspraxic.
Yeah.
Wait, so you'd never been here before? You just went straight across.
Yeah, I do hard moves.
Hard move. What was your impression of the like? What was your thing before you came? Was your preconceived idea of what it'd be like? Is Harriet like an English lady by what you thought?
Yeah, she's what? I don't know.
Was she what you pictured?
What did I think this country would be
She's
like?
a kind lady wearing flowers. I mean, that's pretty.
I knew it was
British.
grey, but I don't think I understood. I think if it wasn't for climate change, it would be much grayer.
Right. You think that's been affecting the whole
I
time?
think it's been helping.
It's
I think-
broken a lot of Canadian comics that come here and they're just miserable. Like
They
I think
can't handle it. They
can't
leave
handle
because
it.
they can't handle the
It's
weather.
just I think, and London as well. I think especially can be quite hard.
As
to
a
move
city
to.
to live in.
Oh yeah,
like
I don't-
Toronto's just like it's nice and pretty and like easy, and yeah, London's like difficult at every turn.
Right. So you've been to Toronto. You've checked out.
Yeah.
Was that just with Bobby or like for
Yeah,
work
with
or?
Bobby, yeah.
Okay. So you think London's hard? Did you find it difficult coming across?
Oh yeah, it's expensive. It's
But I thought Toronto would be quite expensive.
cold.
Also, like
It is, but-
Sydney's
No,
very expensive.
But when
like,
you
it's the
move
same as
here,
London,
when I
really.
move here, every dollar in Canada is worth 50p here, right?
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
So my money's instantly cut in half.
Right. But I thought you won a competition. You had some mad cash to come over
I did
here.
come over with some cash. Yeah, I won 10 grand in a comedy competition.
Did you use it wisely or did you do?
Well, I mean, I don't have it anymore. I don't think I used it wisely. It provided me a living and some cocaine and some taxis and
Yeah.
some food.
Your obsession with Ubers and taxis is.
I don't have an
wild.
obsession actually. Since we moved to Wimbledon, I take an Uber like once a week. So I've actually really reined it in.
But it used to be like almost
used to
2
be
a day, man. It
two
used
to
to be
Couldn't
like
day.
face the 4-minute walk to the bus stop.
Listen, I don't like being alone with myself, so I prefer to be alone with a man I've never met, and I sit in the back of his car.
Do you talk to him?
Sometimes I
He
don't.
does.
want
He
to.
gets into really intense chats with
Yeah.
Uber drivers, actually.
Really?
Yeah, sure. They have interesting lives. How did they get here?
I had a Nepalese guy. in
My
Edinburgh. He was
Uber
great.
chats are very similar to your chat with us right now. How did you get here? What's your life like? I host the Daniel Muggleton podcast in every Uber I'm in.
Can I, if I give you like some recording equipment, can you just get in there?
I could get in there for sure.
It's like Tales from the Uber, Bobby Mair.
I'd love to do a podcast where I just talk to Uber drivers and record it. That would be great.
I think you can do that. I think if you're willing to pay the fare, they will drive you around for an hour.
I think that's a great idea, actually. I might do that.
Okay, well, I'm glad we've all learned something today. You've learned "as the crow flies" as an expression, and that crows fly higher than the trees. That's
Yeah.
also good.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
And Bobby's learned so much. He's learned nothing.
I met a
Honestly.
lady a while ago, and she said she was really afraid of birds flying to her face. That was her biggest fear.
Right.
But then I said, well, would you be afraid if I threw a penguin at you? And she said no.
Because they're flightless.
Yeah, but if you threw it at it, that is kind of like a bird flying, but she wouldn't be afraid.
I think maybe the flapping is unpredictable in a bird, whereas
Yeah.
a penguin, it would just be a slow kind of.
I mean, it wouldn't be slow. I'm throwing the penguin at your face.
But how fast can you throw a penguin?
I don't know.
I've seen your serves in tennis. They're lacking heat.
If it's a baby penguin, I can throw it pretty hard.
You're gonna just one hand
Don't.
pelt a baby penguin.
I'm not gonna do this. It's a hypothetical. Don't. If you put a video clip out, don't put this out as the video clip. Me talking about throwing a penguin at
I would
someone's
not
face.
I would not put the least interesting part of this podcast out.
It's not the least interesting. It's one of many very interesting parts.
But so wait, you like London? Yeah, because like a few people have gone back. Right? We know Dylan. Dylan's like a mutual friend of all of ours.
Dylan moved
he
back
did
to.
not like it.
I don't know if he didn't like it. He just got married and wanted to go home.
I reckon that was it. The love thing brought him back.
I don't
marriage
know.
thing.
It's just where they wanted to live. And you'd have to talk to Dylan.
I have spoken to Dylan in a previous episode 3.
Well, what did Dylan say?
Well, he just said it was hard, and his wife wasn't a big fan. Like she found the English life harder than
Well,
him.
I think particularly we lived in the worst house of all. You never went there. You missed it.
Is
The
it
Streatham house.
the Streatham house. This is like a kind of comedy legend house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
This sums it up. We once walked into the living room and there was a shit on the sofa, and we didn't have a dog. Nobody knows. That sums it up completely.
And
Nobody
I don't
knows.
know. To this day, I don't know if it was a fox, how the shit got there, whose shit it was. It was
so
a mystery.
It definitely wasn't human.
We don't
No,
know.
there's no definite.
There's no definite.
I haven't seen
no
enough
definite.
human shits out of toilets to be like,
No, I
that's
don't
not
know.
a human shit.
But what about in those European toilets where it's flat, where you get a kind of glimpse at it before you flush?
I haven't seen enough to really know
Okay.
for sure it's not.
Yeah,
reckon I
and
could-
you aren't like I don't know enough human shits.
I reckon I could tell a human shit. If it was like 3 shits, I pick the human shit, I'd be like, B.
Game shows no one asked for. With Daniel
As if
Muggleton.
that hasn't been a game show in Japan already, for sure.
There probably has, and then
Yeah.
they freeze it and someone has to suck on it. I don't know. Eat the shit lollipop and you win a car.
You're just so creative. I like that.
Thank you.
You yes and anything.
But then the game dies.
Yeah. One of yes and everyone's like, no, actually, let's move on.
I just yes and the moments no one else would yes and.
So how many people living in this Streatham house?
It was a 5-bedroom house. We had 5 people in there, and then various times other
No, more
couple.
than that, because we were
Well,
there.
that's
So
what I was
there's
just
2,
saying.
4, 6. So I think at points there were 9, maybe.
9. What are we talking about rent wise? How?
The cheapest rent.
Well,
in the, whole
rent
world.
for a 5-bedroom house in London. This house was rented out for £1,000 a month for a 5-bedroom house,
But it was like
which is cheaper than we paid for
it
a
would
1-bedroom
fail
apartment.
every health and safety test, and
But it
was
didn't matter.
disgusting. But it meant we like quit day
did, like,
jobs and stuff.
The water, like it was all like hot water.
There
Oh,
was
yeah, it was
water.
fine.
Yeah.
It was like
yeah.
the Fight Club house.
Yeah.
It was very similar to that nice accommodation that Brad Pitt and
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton live in Fight Club, which I think was quite nice. If it wasn't for Harriet making me leave, I'd probably still be there very happily.
You took him out of that house,
I lived there for 2 years.
and then you were like, Bobby, we need to.
We had to for our own sanity. Yeah, leave.
I think that's actually probably the greatest gift she could have given you.
Yeah, but
The
it was
point
good for me as well because I left my job while I was there because it was
I
so
don't know.
cheap. You didn't have to.
If a rat lives in a gutter, it's his home. Don't make the rat
are
live
you
in
the
a
rat?
cage. I'm the rat.
Is the house the gutter?
The house is
That
definitely
implies
the gutter.
that the rats still pay a minimal rent for that gutter.
Wait, the rat lives in the gutter. What?
It's his home.
You're
It was
saying like
my
wherever
home.
you live, it's your home. Even if you're a rat and the gutter is a gutter.
Am I the gutter?
Now you're the gutter.
Okay.
Now you're-
I knew it was going that I was
That
the gutter.
house used to be my gutter, but now you're my gutter.
You guys are adorable. You should do fridge magnets.
Thank you.
You're my gutter.
You are my gutter.
Bobby and Harriet still married. Wait, so yeah, you guys got married. Like, how did you propose? I just proposed. How did you propose?
Harriet was really hungover on Christmas Eve, 2000 and whatever year it was.
I'd vomited all day. I couldn't keep down
She
liquids.
stunk of puke. I wanted to take her for a walk at night on a farm, which actually wouldn't have been very romantic. It would have just been dark.
There was a full moon actually.
You're on a farm.
Oh yeah.
Who's got a farm? Or just you?
My
were-
dad.
Well, her
Dad's
parents live in a
farmer, yeah.
farmhouse. They don't own they own a bit of the land, but it's not like a full-fledged farm.
So they're kind of like that country English,
Yeah.
country-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't have livestock or anything. They don't
Yeah.
have crop.
Yeah.
But they got acreage.
It's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Right. Is that are they both retired or do they just always live there?
Yeah, but my dad was a
For
farmer.
a second, I thought you said retarded. Are they both retarded? Yes. My dad's a retarded farmer. Sorry.
He used to be a farmer, but now he's not a farmer.
He used to be a farmer.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What did he farm?
Crops.
fields. I don't know.
You don't know-
yeah,
No,
like,
not
yeah,
livestock though. Just like crops.
I'm answering the question. Why are you answering all the questions?
You are
All right,
kind
go.
of.
When it's really boring, now I've got a really boring question to answer.
No.
Feels like,
You don't have a boring question to answer. It's interesting because in the UK, there's not a lot of farming. Like Australia's a lot of
Yeah.
farming. Here, I don't see much. And I look out of a lot of megabus windows, you know?
But I think you're just in cities where they have comedy.
No, I'm in the bus. I'm looking out the window.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the thing with the low walls and
You
the
think they
bricks.
don't have farms here because you haven't seen farms out the bus
I just
window?
haven't seen as many
Science
farms
facts from Muggleton.
I haven't seen as many obvious crops. So I'm curious because a lot of people come to the UK and they don't see the farmland at all, Bobby. And the fact that you're both crossing your arms, I'm explaining this is very disrespectful.
that was at Bobby, and I think his was at me. It had nothing to do with you.
Don't make everything about you, Daniel.
Welcome back to the Union Jack-Off with Daniel Muggleton. It's a pleasure. Your dad was a farmer.
yeah. Yeah, so he just like, there was apples and pears and wheat and raspberries and,
What about your mum? Did she part
What
of the
about-
farm? What?
Her
What?
mom is not livestock.
no, but it was, yeah, so, I was allergic to all the things on the farm. It's a really sad story.
You were allergic to the farm,
Yeah.
but you just stayed in the house and just quickly into the
Well,
car.
we didn't realise for a long time, like, I'm allergic, I can't go in grass, and I'm allergic to raw fruit and raw vegetables, so it was a precarious childhood.
What do you eat though?
Cooked vegetables.
That's fine. So as soon as they
cooked
cook it,
is fine, yeah.
but like what?
But I'm vegetarian as well, which makes it more difficult.
This is craziness.
Yeah.
But like, did you know about the allergy to raw vegetables before you became a vegetarian?
No, I was vegetarian because I had a chicken and it died, and then I was really sad because I
How-
couldn't.
Tell him how old you were.
I was 8, and my pet chicken died.
My cousin had a very similar thing with like a sheep that they had in their house. They're just like in a fucking backyard. Like a backyard sheep, like a suburban sheep.
Like in Neighbours.
Is that a thing in Neighbours?
Yeah, they had the sheep in the garden with Carl and Susan. They had a sheep. This is such an Australian thing. Did you live? Where did you? Oh, you lived in Sydney.
I lived on Ramsey Street. That's where I lived. It's so
I used
weird
to
that
love
you guys.
Neighbours.
It's so weird that you guys know more about Neighbours than we do.
I loved
Like
it.
it's definitely more part of the English culture than it is Australian culture.
Really, yeah.
Like,
oh,
but not Home and Away, right? You guys couldn't give a shit about Home
I
and Away.
don't give a shit about Home and Away.
Do you know about these at all? Like, have you?
I mean, only by name. I know they exist. I've never watched them.
Yeah, they're just they're like Canadian soap operas. Do you have like your own
no,
things?
No, I don't. Canada's too small of a country population-wise to like fund a daily soap opera. But we watch American soap operas.
But we're a smaller population than you. We're 25. Canada's what, like 40?
40 million, yeah.
But it's very spread. Oh, but I guess Australia.
yeah.
I don't know.
What's
they
bigger,
they
Canada
just
or
don't.
Australia?
Canada is bigger.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
Wait, but by much bigger.
No, a fair
Yeah,
bit
so
bigger.
not that-
It's a
yeah,
fair bit bigger.
Bit bigger. Fair bit.
It's a fair bit.
Fair bit. Why do you think I know all this stuff? Okay, then what's bigger, India or Japan? Wait, no, a different one. I think a different one. What's bigger?
Here we go.
Italy or I don't know, something the same size as France. I know the answer.
Clearly, France.
It's France, yeah.
One more.
What's bigger, Scotland or Wales? Oh, who looks stupid now?
Scotland?
Who looks stupid? Both of you
They're
look
actually
stupid.
very similar.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I
very-
did. I did that on purpose to trick you, and
But
you
then
both egg on your
why are your
face.
other two examples so absurdly easy? Now you've done like quite
Yeah.
a difficult question.
Yeah,
I think
Thank you.
Scotland.
Something to think about.
Do you know the answer?
If Scotland's
No.
not bigger,
Don't
they
know.
talk more.
Sorry,
Something to think about.
Dorian, can you bring up whether Scotland or Wales is bigger? I love having I've never had a producer before. This is very exciting. I feel like Rogan.
Yeah,
It's like, hey, bring that up.
you're in charge now.
Yeah,
You're
we
that on the
ask all the
screen.
big questions.
So you grew up on a farm. Did you go to school nearby? Like, were you like a local kind of small
Yeah, it
town
wasn't like in the
girl?
yeah, it wasn't like middle of nowhere.
Was it a private school?
It was a grammar school.
I was just doing a grammar in a private school.
So you have to pass a test.
We call them selective schools in Australia.
Selective.
Selective. You passed the selective schools
selective,
exam.
yeah.
So you made that.
Yeah.
Did you have like any like classes or shit? Or did you like, because in Australia you get like preparation for the selective school exam. Parents spend cash because they want them in those sweet selective schools.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you go to one?
I did not go to one. I went to a private school.
What did you do? Did you go to selective school?
I mean, I went to school.
I mean, I always assumed you were homeschooled. If I had to guess.
I was not homeschooled. I just went to school in Canada. I mean, there are private schools, but not many people. It's not like as much of a thing. If anything, you go to a Catholic school, which is slightly better, but you have to pretend to believe in God.
That's the same as in Australia.
But I never went to some people would go, some people wouldn't. But they don't really have like as many private schools as they do here or in Australia.
Right. Yeah, in Australia, I read something the other day. It was like 30% of Australians are educated in private schools. I think that includes Catholic, though. And the Catholic ones are like much cheaper.
Yeah. Like Catholic school, you pay, but a little. Like it's not really.
Why do you have to pay?
I think
to be Catholic.
Maybe you don't pay, actually. I don't know.
No, in Australia, you definitely pay like a little bit, but I think it's just they're more subsidized, like the Catholic ones, or like maybe the facilities aren't quite like the same kind of level. Like my school had like a swimming pool and shit, you know?
I think,
They had the thing, and they upgraded it to a 50 meter because they're like, look, we've been winning the swimming championships now into 50 meter. We're going to put a car park under the 50 meter swimming pool. They had like the thing. They had the whole thing going on.
Wow.
I think Kent's the only place that still got grammar schools. They got rid of lots of them because it's but it's not very nice, really. I don't know. Because
it's not very nice.
I don't know. Well, because then they're like, haha, you didn't pass. To like an 11-year-old.
I mean, but that's fair enough, though. That kid's got to learn that it's on the bottom of the pile forever.
Yeah.
It's like I talked to Mickey Overman. Like the Dutch thing is like they do that, but like then they separate you into 3 different types of school, and like you can only drop down. Like no one ever gets put up. They're never like, oh, this 11-year-old actually turned out to be a pretty smart 13-year-old. No, you're just stuck there. It's just like if you're a dummy at 11, you're just a carpenter forever.
I had that in maths class at the beginning of the year. They were like, no one is going to change classes or go down classes. And they were like, Harriet, you have to go down a class.
Like week 2, they're like, yeah actually, we have made a horrible mistake here.
Yeah.
But good work in the exam. Wait, so did you go to university anywhere?
Yeah.
In
to
the
Kingston,
UK?
Yeah, but I wasn't very good at it. But after New York, then I came back and then I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I panicked and then I was like, I want to go to London, but I don't know how to pay rent because I didn't have a proper job. So I enrolled at university to get a loan so I could pay rent while working. But then I never really went to university, so I didn't have any friends. But you didn't have to go because it was English. So you just read the book and then it was all online. But it was a very lonely period.
How many years?
3 years. I finished it, but it was tough.
You got a degree.
I got a degree,
even though you only went to university in order to take out a loan.
Yeah, and then I worked in a theatre, and
How many friends did you make in those 3 years?
Well, we've talked about this. No friends. It was a very lonely time.
No friends?
Because I didn't live there until I lived like an hour away, and so then I get the bus there, and then I wouldn't talk to anybody, and then I get the bus home, and then I'd stop going because it was so lonely. It was horrible. I'm bad at meeting people.
That actually surprised me. You seem like a nice, kind of bubbly person.
I think doing stand-up has helped.
She has a better mask than I do.
I think stand-up has helped meet people.
I mean, she's got a mask. Like, just like one at all.
I still have a mask. You don't want to know everything going on.
I mean,
that sounded threatening.
I don't want to know, but I feel if I spend enough time with you, I will know.
Well, that's any human relationship. Of course, eventually you connect with the person and get to know every part of them.
The mania in your eyes when you said that kind of freaked me out there. Just a little bit. Like, they just went really white, and I was like, oh boy. Did you go to uni in Canada?
No, I went to Humber College's comedy writing and performance program, but I dropped out after 8 months.
You have a comedy writer?
Yes.
What?
90 children a year pay thousands of dollars to take classes. It's kind of to be.
All the Canadian comics went there, though.
To be fair,
all of you guys.
To be
fair,
fair,
no way.
Yeah,
it's a 2-year program. To be fair, it's like drama school.
Yeah.
Except you also take a stand-up class and an improv class.
Right.
And then you take an acting class.
So it's just like a more specified drama degree, basically.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's really.
But Dylan was there, and Adam Christie, like Nathan Fielder, wasn't he there? Like,
yeah, I did go. That's my claim to fame, is that I went to the same college as Nathan Fielder.
Is that Nathan Few? Is that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We did the writing course.
Yeah, we never hung out. He was busy making YouTube videos and already being great. And I was doing open mics.
Well, that's good that you were working.
Yeah.
Working the open mic scene. Okay, so you dropped out of that.
Yeah, not that it wasn't. It just I knew I wanted to do stand up, so I just
But you
decided
knew you wanted to do stand up.
from when I was 13. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Ever since I watched a Whoopi Goldberg documentary about the career of Whoopi Goldberg, and then I said, I want to do that. That's how I found comedy, Whoopi. If not for Whoopi, I might be an accountant. I really like numbers before Whoopi.
You would never be an accountant, Bobby.
If my life was broken up into two parts, it would be before Whoopi Goldberg and after Whoopi.
Had you seen Sister Act?
BW and AW. I'm not sure if I had seen Sister Act, but I wasn't aware of stand-up. And then I watched a documentary where they were talking about Whoopi Goldberg being a comedian, and I thought, I'd like to do that. And that was it.
This is you were 13. You went into your adopted parents' house who, were brutally honest with you from the beginning, apparently. And you were like, Mom, Dad, I've been inspired by Whoopi Goldberg.
I never
want to
said
be
those
a comedian.
Words. I just said I want to be a comedian. They were
Bobby's
like, yeah, all right,
influence
cool.
is one of
they
my
were
favorite
supportive?
things.
Yeah, my parents never had any... My parents... One good thing they did, they never told me what to do in terms of a job. And anything I did, they said, yeah, great, good job.
Yeah, my parents were good like that as well. It was my parents' idea to do it. And I've never met anyone else that's had the same.
Your parents' idea to do comedy.
Harriet's parents told her to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
What?
I never met anyone else.
Can you
who's
tell
like,
the full... I don't think I've ever heard the full story.
I finished uni and then I didn't know what to do. And then I thought, oh, maybe I want to do serious acting. But I kept being cast in comedy roles. And I was like, maybe I'll go to drama school. But then I couldn't get into drama school because I was trying to act like an actor. I try and be really together. And then I started to do comedy writing. And then...
Wait, you started comedy writing where? Just at home?
No, yeah, just bits for things. I don't even know what.
That sentence could
I don't know what I was doing. Where am I? I'm a dog.
There's really funny diary entries. That's what I was doing.
But then my mum and dad were watching Live at the Apollo, and then the next day they were like, we think you should do Live at the Apollo. You could do comedy. We're watching Live at the Apollo, and stupid things always happen to you, and you've got funny stories. And I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. And then but they were like, go do it and don't tell anyone. So then I did it in secret, and I didn't tell my housemates because I was so embarrassed and I didn't know what stand-up was. And so I'd sneak out at night and go to gigs, and it was so exciting.
So it's you had this mistress.
Yeah.
Just and your parents were like, you should do comedy.
Yeah,
so without that conversation, you would have never done comedy.
I don't know. I think I'd only recently seen a couple of things because I worked at a theatre and they had a stand-up night. And so I'd seen Sarah Millican and Tony Law. But no, it never occurred to me that was a real thing you could do.
I was the exact same as that. Never. You're just I could just talk on the stage for a bit for money. That could be it.
And in New York, I saw stand-up, but it was
you guys
really
never saw
aggressive,
Whoopi.
Comedians.
Do you remember the name of the documentary? I want to put this in the bloody description. Hey guys, thinking about doing comedy, watch this documentary. You can do it too.
No, I'm sure you could Google it and find the documentary.
Did you
iconic
ever
documentary about Whoopi Goldberg and her stand-up
This
career.
is a different fact, but it's also one of my favorite facts about Bobby. Bobby cried for 2 days when Princess Diana died.
What? Why?
She was the people's princess.
And he bought all the magazines and he was so sad. And he couldn't understand why no one else was crying because the people's princess had died.
That's a bit of an exaggeration. I didn't necessarily cry for 2 days, but I did buy all the magazines and I was quite broken up about the people's princess.
So you felt like a connection to the people's princess?
I think it was about something else, maybe.
I felt some kind of kinship with Princess Diana. I can't explain it then. I can't explain it now. But when I looked into Princess Diana's eyes, I thought, I understand you.
Why?
I don't know why.
She's the complete opposite of you.
She's not the complete opposite, actually. I have borderline personality disorder. Princess Diana also had borderline personality disorder. That's actually quite a connection. We had the same mental illness.
And you knew that as a
I didn't know that, but on some level I knew that.
Sorry, Harriet, I think you wanted... I'm still struggling with this.
I know. It took a lot, but yeah, he's just so sad. Princess died. You watched all the
A lot of powerful women influenced me.
That's true. Very different ones. A black lady with a Jewish name, the Princess of Wales.
The
Whoopi
people's
got
princess.
Pardon?
Oh, Goldberg. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fake name. Do you ever perform as a fake name?
Robbie Magic. No, I didn't. I just want that to be my magician name.
You thought of that too quick.
I've said it before.
You've got that locked and loaded. Robbie Magic.
Robbie
Magic. And I throw smoke bombs down and then the smoke clears and I'm just standing there being like, hey. Robbie.
Oh man. So, but Princess Diana, like, but why? I guess the UK, like, you knew you could come, but you'd never been here before. I'd been here before. I at least had like, some kind of concept of what the UK is like. You just took a plunge.
Comedy was my only thing I cared about. So I knew I want to do more comedy. I want to keep getting better at comedy. If I move there, I will get better at comedy. Okay, I'm moving there. So I quit. I just couch surfed for like 8 months, saved up money, and then won that competition, and then moved here.
You couch surf for 8 months.
Well, I couch surf for a few. When I say couch surf, not like day-to-day different couches, but like a month here, a month there, and then I think a few months at my friend, one of my friend's places.
Right, and then just came across.
Yeah.
And like Harry, with your comedy, would you ever want to go anywhere else, or does this feel like home? I mean, you said you both like New York, which I think most people.
But where else is? If we didn't move to America, what? It's not like we're gonna be like, let's go to France.
Well, I mean, there's like the Europe. There's that guy. Isn't there a comedian who lives in like the south of France and just flies over it for the weekend? I think that guy's got it. Yeah, I think that guy's got it figured out.
No, but in terms of breaking it, we're not gonna break into the local scene.
Yeah.
I've gigged in Paris, but there's like one gig every month, or like once a week or something. Like you can't do it regularly there.
Right.
It's that English speaking comedy.
Although I don't know, maybe when we're like 50, if our careers are great or awful, either one, then we can. Either one's fine actually, because if it's great, you can live anywhere, and if you don't have a career, you can live anywhere.
That's true.
So by the time we're about, the only problem would be if we're doing all right and we're still clinging to the idea of success, but we could easily move to Europe and just have a great life.
Yeah.
But would you want Europe? Would that be the obvious choice?
I don't know. It would depend.
But this is, I mean, because it seems like comedy, you know, obviously like, this is where you grew up and stuff, but like the reason you're in London is because of comedy and just life, I guess, and you're allergic to being outside of London. So that's a fair.
Yeah, the more nature there is, the more Harriet can't breathe.
Yeah, which is why I figure Canada's not really an option. Same as like Australia. You just.
We haven't got to this. She hates Canada.
Hates Canada.
I don't hate Canada. I like Montreal. I like Toronto.
Those are two cities, neither of which is where my family lives.
No, but I
Where
like.
does your family live?
My family lives in Huron County.
Okay.
Which is a county they live spread around Huron County, which is an hour north of London, Ontario, the cool London.
Of course, the people's London.
Yeah,
London, Ontario.
London. Dylan has a joke about that, actually. That's his joke. London, the shitty one.
Yeah. So it was like a kind of small Canada. It wasn't like big city Canada.
I grew up in a town of 2,000 people, Seaforth, Ontario.
It's the smallest place.
2,000?
It's an hour to the cinema. It's like
no, it's 30 minutes to the cinema.
When we went, I went bowling twice in a week. Twice.
A very fun, cool activity that cool people do.
Is Harriet as bad at bowling as I'd expect?
She's as good at bowling as she is at most things.
The meaner answer. Fantastic. But so a really small Canadian town. So was that even weirder coming to London where it's like 12 million? Like when you're from... Oh, but you lived in Toronto?
Yeah, so till I was 19, I lived there. Then Toronto till 26, and then here until now.
Okay, and then Harriet's been. Harriet, you've given Harriet the tour of Seaforth?
Yeah, and I don't hate Canada. I just couldn't... There's nothing we could do there. Like we couldn't...
Our jobs.
With our jobs. You couldn't... Like 2,000 people, they get a bit bored of the same jokes every week.
Yeah.
They? I mean, I don't know.
Just play 50 of them every night. Just on repeat. Yeah. But what about, you like Toronto and stuff? You like big Canada? Because you went to Canada for like just for laughs, right? Like
yeah.
You've been like glitzy Canada.
Glitzy
like
Canada.
show Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
But could you live there? Wait, is it like...
It's very beautiful, and I think that in a different life, I definitely could live there.
But what about this life?
Maybe not this life. I don't know. I like the idea of like living by a lake.
Follow-up question.
Like living by a lake and like going.
You wouldn't want to live just by a lake in a cabin with me.
No.
No, that sounds like The Shining.
I need more.
You need more.
I need distractions from you.
But I agree with that. I like small kind of freaks me out. Like those like small cities and like small towns in Australia. I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah, well, I grew up in like a village, and there's like towns nearby, and London's only like an hour away. But like when you don't drive as a kid, you just like you want to be able to.
Right, so it was a small village for you as well, like bigger than 2,000 people. There.
Yeah, and like London's close, like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting, and yeah, I mean, but I always think about like living in different places because obviously I got Mary, who's like an Australian. And she kind of feels the like going home thing.
She's pulled to her home.
To her homeland. To the family, to the sun. Like, we were just in LA and like, we've lived here like 18 months.
How was that? Did you feel like you could live in LA?
Yeah. Like, just people look healthier. You feel better. You look at like colors are like the full color. Like colors in the UK just kind of washed out.
Imagine colours, Bobby.
Just like it's
what does
like
that mean?
I don't know.
It's like the full
So you
thing.
think this is like the beginning of Pleasantville and LA is the end of Pleasantville?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like it's odd. Like it reminded me of like Sydney and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, the quality of life is quite good. This house has a spare room. There's nothing in the room. It's just a room.
It's just spare.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah, they don't do that in London.
Like I can't see my kitchen from my couch. You know what I mean? I can't see my washing machine from my bathroom. Like these are wild things. It's got a backyard.
Yeah.
It's got a veranda.
All
Also
right.
known as a patio.
But I think you're probably renting an expensive apartment.
In Venice, yeah, it was pretty dope.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So I mean, if you rented an expensive apartment in London, you could have that.
I mean,
You couldn't afford it probably continuously.
But it's like you couldn't get like a house. You know, like here basically you're getting an apartment for a house.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
You know.
But do you not like? I've never been to Australia, but I've heard it's really nice.
It
Like,
is,
do you not think like
I'd heard the opposite.
like that must be hard to leave there? Because everyone wants to move there from here.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, yeah, it's the same as like Bobby. I think it's just like for comedy, Australia, it's just not enough.
But you're gonna move back.
Maybe, I don't know. It's just I understand like the quality of life, and that's the thing. I think living in London, you're kind of sacrificing a bit of quality of life.
Yeah.
It depends. We have like so many great parks near where we live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And someone was saying the other day that they moved out of London, but then they don't. It's nice you're in the countryside, but you can't go in any of it. You know what I mean? Like in London, you can go into the parks, but in the countryside, it belongs to a farmer.
It's some dude's
you
land.
can look
It's
at
some
it.
guys, yes, you can look at it all the time from a car.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Like, it seems free, but it's not.
Yeah, someone's farm.
Yeah, I mean, we live very central in London as well, like in Shoreditch. So it's central. Like, you know, just like on the weekend, it's just like fucking lunatics.
Yeah, I lived in Shoreditch for a bit, and it's insane.
Yeah, like I like it. Like I like the kind of big city thing, but like it's just the idea of like having kids or whatever. You'd be like, they can't be around this.
Yeah.
They're gonna grow up weird. They can't see like Nang canisters all over the ground every morning.
Whatever.
What you guys are kids like a thing? Like would you? And if so, like is the UK where to have them?
I don't know. We think about it, and then as soon as we're like, yeah, let's do it, and then I panic.
And then you panic.
Yeah. Oh no. I think Bobby would be so good.
She's still afraid to consummate the marriage. That's the issue.
Really?
We'll get there one
She
day,
doesn't.
yeah.
We get close. We do some
Yeah.
light kissing and heavy petting, and then she says, "I can't."
I just
do
don't
this.
like his touch.
Yeah,
It's
I feel like that's a
difficult,
spoiler for season 2 of the show.
We're gonna fuck on camera.
But I think Bobby would be really good with a kid because he's got lots of like a kid has a lot of energy. Bobby has a lot of energy and love to give, and together they tire each other out. Maybe
And you can just read.
I can just read a book. That's all I want. Yeah, it's a quiet life. They'll tire Bobby.
I'd be a very good daddy. Good daddy, Bobby.
You love kids. He's good with. He always makes friends with kids.
I do because we're on the same level, the level of fun and cool.
That's funny. Oh man, no, yeah, I just, yeah, I was like, actually, this is a question I was asked. Like, if you had to live somewhere else, couldn't live in London anymore, what would it be?
Uganda.
Uganda,
No, I don't know.
obviously.
I've never been there, but I want to visit.
Doesn't have to be a place you've even been, but just like, you know, number 1 off the list. No practical constraints.
I liked Thailand. That was.
Oh
very
yeah,
nice.
actually, if we get, I know this comic named Brian Aylward who has the best life. He lives in Thailand and then just flies around Asia doing all the Asian gigs, goes back to Canada for a few months a year, does all the gigs in Canada, and gets to live in Thailand. That is a much better quality of life than anything I've encountered.
Thailand. Which part of Thailand?
I think we've only visited the south, so I don't have I've never been to Bangkok, so I don't have reference for the north of Thailand. But
So you've
I
just
would
done like Phuket.
love.
We went to islands like
Koh Samui and
Yeah.
Koh Phangan and
Krabi and stuff. It was
Koh
really
Lanta,
nice.
yeah.
Koh Lanta.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's just Thailand.
Yeah.
Exotic.
I think so. What do you think?
Sun.
Yeah. Or Cambodia was cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And Harriet, like...
Yeah. Well, do I have to pick the same as Bobby?
No, not at all.
Wow, we realised today that we're gonna
Oh,
go our separate ways, find different
that's
countries.
so sad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, I'd love to live in Thailand or in a. Yeah, of course.
Right. So like, not like I thought you might have said like New York because obviously.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
No, but you said no
You said no
constraints.
constraints.
Well,
so
no
like
constraints,
you don't
I'm
have to
just
do a
saying,
job.
Like, but it's not about our work then.
It's not about your work.
Well,
but
it's not about my work. I don't want to live in New York City. It's just like London, but more on top of each other.
Yeah, but it's
Very
like there's
busy.
American people there. You know, the colours. Remember the colours? Full
Oh,
colours.
Yeah.
I
But
think-
Thailand has the colours.
Thailand has the colours,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, you know, full bore, 100%.
I don't think this clip will work out of context.
We went to Costa Rica. That was really nice. There are sloths. We could have a sloth sanctuary in Costa Rica.
Wow, this is a dream I didn't even know we had. We could do that.
A sloth sanctuary? Are you a fan of the sloth
Big
as a
fan.
creature?
Saw one and cried.
She cried tears of joy
I
because
couldn't believe
they're
it. It's
beautiful
like
creatures.
magic. And you know they sometimes like because they get the things they eat make them drunk. That's why they're so slow. And sometimes they go between the trees and they move through the branches. And sometimes they confuse their own arm for a tree and they hold on to the arm and then they fall to their death.
I didn't know that about sloths.
It's really sad.
Koalas are the same with the eucalyptus leaves. That makes them high. And they've all got chlamydia, so they just kind of just cling onto this
Yeah.
tree and being all chlamydia'd up, nice and high.
We could have
Hot.
koalas as well. As a chlamydia survivor, I could set up a koala sanctuary
Well,
and rescue
great,
them.
Harriet.
Yeah,
Are you a chlamydia survivor?
yeah.
Fucking, that's very brave of you.
Thank you.
That you sorted it out, Bobby, of you. You
I've
survived.
never had a sexually transmitted.
Which doesn't make
Disease.
any sense. How Bobby has it and I have. It doesn't make any sense.
It does. I
If
know what
anyone's just look at us and just guess who was to have one, it feels very unfair.
I mean, what do you want? How do we react to that, Harriet? Yeah, you're right. We didn't know that you fucked a lot of people without condoms. But actually, you did. Good work, Harriet.
I mean, I was with you when Bobby said I've never had one. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
that's-
that's the thing. It's very
even
surprising.
Even I've had one, and I'm a nerd.
I got a
you
good
know?
eye and a good nose. I know when it's clean.
Like one of those truffle pigs.
Yeah, I can sniff out a truffle.
Oh God.
I really like to think we've raised the tone of this whole thing.
Well.
kept it high up.
Truffle pig, where's my gonorrhea?
Wait, I got this is worst segue ever for this whole thing. But like when you brought, you know, loud Bobby home to your lovely quiet farmer parents, was that a lot, like culturally?
Yeah, for both sides, I think it was a lot.
Right. So
What you have to keep in mind, at least from Harriet's parents' perspective, is the onslaught of crazy, weird men she had brought before me. I'm not the weirdest. I'm not the oddest. I'm like one of the most normal.
right, is Bobby the
Harriet-
most exotic though in terms of like
No.
where he's from, or like was there?
I just would adopt like waifs and strays and yeah, just yeah.
But like Canada, like the furthest afield, or like, was it English generally? I think English people tend to. You guys, it's pretty much English people on English people, or there's like Canadians or Australians. You don't really stray too far.
Yeah, some of my family's in Canada actually. My
Right.
yeah, my grandma's sister's there and their kids.
So like Canada wasn't a shock,
It's
but
not
like
too
and
yeah.
Bobby was normal. I don't know
The
if
Canada thing wasn't the problem. The Bobby thing, that was the problem.
Okay,
It's not him being from
It's
Canada.
not a problem. We
It's
all get
not
along.
a problem. Yeah, they all get on really well.
We love each other. I
Yeah.
love your family and they love me. Although they don't say I love you very often, but they mean it.
And you hug them for long periods.
I
too
don't
long,
hug them.
and
They don't hug enough.
So you got like a nice, good repressed family, and Bobby's coming in there with all this like, I love you, and big hugs.
yeah.
That is awkward. I'm with you. I was raised right.
To not hug.
Keep it inside. Don't cry at the funeral. They'll think you're a pussy. Just hold it
Yeah.
in. Keep it here.
Even if you
Keep
don't
it
cry,
low.
we still know you're a pussy.
It's true. Look at me, Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, so it wasn't like a big deal because like one of the things like Mary's family, they get like with me, they're like he's gonna take her away from us.
Do they
Oh.
vocalize that to you?
Not like it's not like a big deal. Like they like me a lot. Like we get on pretty good, I think. Like, you know, but it's just definitely they're aware that my career is kind of like maybe we should move out of Sydney. And like, would your family want you to go back to like Kent? Would they want you to get around the village
I don't
again?
think your parents are that interested in seeing you every day.
So, like, dude, Mary and her mum used to just hang. Like, they do, like, the parent, like, hang. Like, they're friends and shit.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, I find it odd as well. But some people do
that's
it.
cute, yeah.
You think it's cute, but,
But your family couldn't really... The English thing for them was a bit of a shock. His grandma doesn't understand anything I say. So I have conversations with her and she doesn't understand.
To be fair, she is 100 years old.
So it's like a hearing thing.
No, she can hear her,
She
but
can hear everybody else apart from me.
she can't pick up Harriet's accent. So
She's never left. She's not really like left.
no, she has. She traveled around the world many times.
So there's really no reason.
She just prefers not to hear you.
No, Harriet speaks and she goes, and then I will repeat what Harriet says and she goes, oh.
Right. Just can't.
She can't.
Yeah, she's so sweet, but she doesn't. Yeah, she does.
I thought the English accent was probably like the most easily traveled.
I don't know. I've never been 100, you know?
Yeah,
Probably
100
lose
is
some
old.
things.
Maybe they sounded different back in the day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like an old English. It's just like a modern English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not picturing like Jane Austen shit sounding like that. You know what I mean? When they're all chatting. Wouldn't that be great if like the Jane Austen shit was just like a scouse dude? Who like just Mr. Does just fucking just like I got a letter. I got nothing. All right.
What accent was that?
That
It
was me
Scouse.
attempting to
The thing is, you started so confidently, and then you panicked, and then you went
did.
back. So it was. Yeah.
I knew it wasn't. It just wasn't playing to your strengths.
No, accents, acting, not my strengths. I'm the only one here who didn't go to like fucking drama school.
I didn't go to drama school. I went to comedy, writing, and performance school.
Surely accents are part of that.
No, I only learned all the accents that are now considered insensitive.
Oh, was that actually part of the course?
No!
That would be so funny if they taught that.
Just like lesson 1, no accents.
Lesson 1.
Jamaican
how to sound
accent, not
Chinese.
okay. Chinese accent, not okay. Russell Peters, very successful, but not okay. Just like crossing him out. Was he respected in Canada? People like,
I don't know. The guy's a millionaire.
he's killing it. He's like
Yeah.
the biggest ever. People don't know who he is though. Like my housemates, I met him.
No,
And my housemate's like, who's Russell
people
Peters? And I
know
was
who
like,
Russell Peters is. White
English
people might not.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Russell Peters can sell out Wembley. English people know who Russell Peters is. Just white English people,
Maybe not.
less so.
Those
But
are Australian people.
I
Those are
mean-
white Australian people.
I mean, it's not like a bunch of Somalian immigrants are going to see Michael McIntyre. So if you're Somali, you need to say, who's that guy? But then they know who Russell Peters is, you know? So it's just...
Look, I'm going to say fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an equivalent analogy, but sure.
Of course it's an equivalent analogy.
But just like,
Russell Peters speaks to like groups of people that weren't represented in the media at all, you know?
Right.
He'll start talking about like Kenyans and like no one else is talking about Kenyans on television. So then all the Kenyan people are like, thank you. We're going to come to your show.
look,
We
all right.
feel.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'll give you that 100%. Because we want to be spoken about.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, like
We feel
every
represented.
English comedian comes over being like, oh, can't get the fruit through customs. And all these Australian people are like, fucking yeah, sick observation.
Exactly.
I've actually started just taking fruit around. When I go to Europe, I just pack a fruit in my bag.
Why?
Just because it feels bad.
Oh, wow.
Feels naughty.
You're
you
not
know?
allowed to.
You can't take fruit into Australia, no. We've got a very delicate ecosystem. I would
Oh,
assume
yeah.
Canada was the same.
I
In
don't
The
know.
Simpsons when they had all the frogs or the rabbits.
I think it was frogs in The Simpsons, but we
Yeah.
also did have rabbits.
Yeah.
And cane toads, that's an actual
That's
an actual issue. You know what we did? But guys, we did it.
What time is it?
It's 7:25.
Time to leave. Thank you.
That is not how we end. Is there any
Time to
place-
leave. Thank you. I've never ended a podcast before.
No, that's this
Goodbye, podcast.
Is this is my bit.
Goodbye, Harriet.
What is it you saying? You've never done a podcast before? No one's ever asked you.
I've never
What
ended.
is-
I've done a lot of podcasts, actually. Very
No, what you said,
experienced.
You never had a podcast.
I've done
Bobby didn't
podcasts.
know
Very
what a podcast
experienced.
was until
End
he
the
did this.
podcast.
Bobby was actually really worried that he'd, suffer on the podcast and just be a bit shy. And
I don't know if anyone's listening, but
everyone's listening.
How many listeners?
So many.
We
Now,
just talked for an hour and a half. How many people are going to hear this?
fucking everybody. Everybody sees it through to the end. If you
How
make it past
many?
the first
How
50 minutes-
many?
I don't know the stats on it.
Exactly. The people who have good stats know the stats.
Wait, do we ever find out which is bigger? Scotland or Wales? We gotta have a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's the end.
That's why we kept people listening, so they could be like, "What? Which is bigger, Scotland or Wales?"
The
What
thing
do we
is,
got?
every British person except for Harriet probably knows this.
I mean, no, they don't. They don't know anything.
Right.
We got Dorian here. Dorian's ready. He's been waiting on this one.
Sorry. This is according to the BBC. Scotland is the largest country in the United Kingdom, smaller than England, but larger in terms of area and population in Wales and Northern Ireland combined.
Yeah.
Wait, so how's it the largest if England's bigger?
I don't know. Take it as it is. I mean, this is from the BBC. So
Harriet, Doran is not here to interpret the facts, all right? He's here to read things out as they're
Make
written
it
on the
out what you will.
BBC.
But it's definitely bigger than Wales. But
It's
there was a
definitely bigger than
confusing
Wales.
thing there with the, yeah.
But it's bigger than
Thank
Wales.
you.
So now you know. But good
Do-
question, though.
Do you need
Yeah.
closing music? Dun dun dun.
Shut up. So,
Dun, dun, dun.
is there anywhere for people to find you guys? Is Bobby and Harriet Get Married season 2? Is that a thing? Is that
Yes,
happening?
it's very slow, but one day.
One day it'll be there.
We've
Wait.
got Twitter.
And you got Twitter. This is the way you plug. This is the plug bit.
All right.
Wait.
Yeah, we're on social media.
Just do it properly.
We're on social media.
People are lazy. They don't want to Google your dumb name.
Bobby Mair on Twitter.
Spell it.
You spell it when you write my name on the thing. BOBBYMAIR on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Okay.
And Snapchat.
What's
I'll
your
make
email?
it tonight. My
Email.
my email address is bobbyishilarious@gmail.com.
He's had it for so many years, and it's so awkward when he has to tell like the gasp people what his email is.
That's your like
He
professional
gets
email
so
address
embarrassed. Yeah.
That is my professional email address.
as well? I like that you
Always selling.
I love that you made a joke one even for Gmail. I thought most people left that at Hotmail. You know?
Nope, did it in 2011.
And Harriet, where can people find you?
At Harriet Kemsley, HarrietKemsley. I'm not good with S's.
Yeah, no, I can see that. You were
I
just
panic.
getting excited
I
for the
started
S's.
to panic. Yeah.
Are either of you at Edinburgh this year?
No.
No? Harriet's taking a year off? You at Edinburgh?
No.
Okay, not doing
No
a show?
Edinburgh.
No
We've
Edinburgh
got a
this
year
year.
off. Next
Tragic.
year we'll be back.
You'll be back? Bigger than
Yeah.
ever?
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for being on the very first video
Thanks
episode.
for having us.
It's a goddamn pleasure.
And last.
Oh, wait, sorry, we're going to do one more thing. Did you cut it? No. We're good? Great. One more thing. The way that we end the podcast, I want you guys to do this at the same time to show that you are in sync.
It's a
and that
kiss.
No, it's definitely not that.
Okay.
Just, we're not making that good a use of the video thing, and I'm still thinking about Bobby's fucking child porn thing at the top. Anyway, you say cheers, mate, at the same time. That's how you end the podcast.
1, 2, 3.
Cheers, mate.
Fucking beautiful read. Bobby, Harriet, it's been a pleasure. Cheers.